Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about all the ways that we have gone over so far in how to solve a division problem. Now, we are going to solve 975 divided by 3, and we are going to use all of the different ways that we have learned so far. And we'll go over those so that you know today what you are to look for. Okay, so let's look at our 975 first. 975 is what? Yes, it is our dividend. Then we have 3, which is our divisor. And then we have this blank. What we're looking for is our quotient. The answer to a division problem is a quotient. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the array. So let's zoom in closer to see how we can solve this problem using an array. So with an array, I'm going to use my base 10 blocks. It's easier for me to see. So I'm going to divide it up into 3 rows. Since my divisor is 3, my dividend is 975, and my divisor is 3, I'm going to make 3 rows so I can see how many go in each row. So I'm going to start with 900. I know 900 is bigger than 300, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to use these blocks to represent 100. These blocks represent 10, and these represent 1. So we're going to put 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. So I've taken care of 900. Now I need 75. 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I can't do that because I can't finish it out. So I'm just going to put, now to use these. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 73, sorry, 74, and 75. So if I count all these again, I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 910, 920, 930, 940, 950, 960, 961, 962, 963, 964, 965, 966, 967, 968, 969, 970, 971, 972, 973, 974, 975. So you can see altogether I have 975, which matches my dividend here. Now each row, and I can draw lines here so you can see it better, each row has exactly 100, 200, 300, 310, 320, 321, 22, 23, 24, 25, 325. So my quotient would be 325. And I can tell that because I have 975 out here and 325 in each row. So now let's look at our next one. Now this is probably the hardest one to do with larger numbers. Now it's much easier to see the bar model with smaller numbers, such as 24 divided by 3. But since we have 975 divided by 3, with this number, 975 goes at the top, and then you'll have make 3 sections in this, so 3 bars, 1, 2, and so now I have 3 sections, and then I would have to find out how many goes in each section. This is where you can count. Ooh, that takes a long time to count to 975. But again, if this was 24, I could look at my multiples. Oh, 24 is a multiple of 3. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8 would go in each one. Now this one, you would have to count out for 975, and it would take a while to realize, oh, it's 325 in each one. So in that case, we put 325 in each one of these boxes. And that would help us to see that, oh, 975 is divisible by 3, and each section will have 325 in it. And so that's how you can see that. So it just helps you see that these are part, 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 and that's the whole. So let's go ahead and go on to our next section. Okay, so for this one, this is area model. Now this is pretty interesting one. Now with this one, our divisor goes on top. Our dividend, we are going to spread it out over the middle of this one. So now we're going to say 3 times 1, and we're going to chunk this. So we did this yesterday. 3 times, let's say 100. 100 is easy, so we do 100. Or I know that, yeah, we'll just do 100. So we have 100. 100 times 3. 3 times 100 is 300. So I have a big chunk over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how much of my dividend I have left. So 975 minus 300. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. And 9 minus 3 is 6. And now I can see that took a small chunk away. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, so I had 3 times 100 equals that. I'm going to do that again. Let's try that again. So 100, and that equals 300. So then I have to again subtract it over here, 300. See, my dividend is getting smaller, and it is going to completely, we're trying to reduce it till it is nothing left. Oh, I said 375, so I can see I can do it one more time. So I'm going to try 100 again. That's 300. You notice I forgot to put my lines in. Let me go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to subtract this 300, which leaves me 75. Now I'm not quite to a multiple of any of my multiples that I can see yet. So let me go ahead and try another one. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and try 20, because I know 10 would be 30, and if I do that twice, that would be 60. So I'm going to try 20. 3 times 20 would be 60. And see how well I fare with that one. So now let's see. Now we have 60, and now I only have 15 remaining. And I know 15 is a multiple of 3. So let me go ahead and see what it is. 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm going to write 5 down here, which gives me 15. 3 times 5 is 15. And now notice my chunks are smaller. So now I have to measure to see how much I have left, which 15 minus 15 I know is going to be 0. So I have that beautiful 0. Yay! And so now I know that I have to add all my partial quotients over here, which gives me, let's see, 5 plus all these zeros is 5. 2 plus all these zeros is 2. And then 300. So that is solving it with the area model. So let's move on to partial quotients. Okay, with partial quotients, my dividend goes underneath 975, and I'm going to make this beautiful house over here, and then my divisor goes here. Okay, so with partial quotients, I'm going to do again chunks to the side. So 903 times what gets me closest to 925. Now 3 times, if I look at 9, 9 is a multiple of 3, and it's 3 times 9 is there. So I can do 3 here, and 3 times, but that only gives me 3. So I'm going to have to move it over 2 spaces. So I'm going to make it 300. So now 3 times 300 is 900. So this is one way to solve partial quotients. Now we could have, just like we did over here with this one, we could have done 100, 100, 100. But I'm going to show you, if we do this, we have 300. And now that only leaves me 75. And so I know that 20 will get me closer. So I'll do 20. 3 times 20 is 60. So subtract by 60. And that gives me 5 minus 0 is 5. And then 7 minus 6 is 1. And 15 is a multiple of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put a 5 here. 5 times 3 is 15. And that leaves me 15 minus 15 with a beautiful 0. So now I'm not finished though. I still need to add all my partial quotients up here to the side. So 300 plus 20 plus 5 is 325. And then I will check it by multiplying my quotient by my divisor. 325 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15, plus that 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. We can cross that out because that is so last season. 3 times 3 is 9. Does that match my dividend? Yes, it does. So I know that is correct. My dividend is correct. So I can put my quotient, 325, here and over here as well. So let's move on to our last one, which was algorithm. So with algorithm again, my dividend, 975, will go underneath a house. Now notice I don't have that long stem here. And then my divisor will go over here. Let me make that a little bit clearer. There we go. So 3 is my divisor, so 975 divided by 3. So now with this one, I'm going to look at just this 9. So 9, and so I'm going to put my chart over here. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. So it's drive my super cool buggy. Or I've heard a couple other people come up with some pretty interesting ones. So let's go ahead and try this. So 9, first thing I do is I divide. So I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I'll put a 3 up here. And I can put, again, a multiplication sign here so I remember 3 times 3 is 9. So that's my next step, is multiply. 3 times 3, check. 9, and then my next thing I do is subtract. 9 minus 9 is 0. Okay, we're on the right track. All right, so I check. Is 0 less than 3? It is, so check my check. And then bring it on down. So now I'm going to bring down the 7. Bring down the 7. So now I'm finished with this round. So I'm going to do it again. So start over here, divide. 7 divided by 7 divided by 3. Now 7 is not a multiple, but 6 is just below it. So 2 times 3 is 6. So or 7 divided by 3 would be 2. So I divide. Now I multiply. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So I'm going to bring down the 6. Bring that 6 down here. 2 times 3 is 6. Now I subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. And check. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. So I can check that check. And then bring down the 5. My last one to bring down. So bring down the 5. And I'm going to do it a third time. Since there's 3 digits, I'm going to do it a third time. So my next step is to divide. 15 divided by 3. 15 is a multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I divide. There we go. But I have my quotient in here, but I have to finish to see if I have a remainder or anything. So now I'm going to do is multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. Then I subtract. 15 minus 15 is 0. Great. I check. Is 0 less than 3? Yes, and it is a beautiful 0, so that means I have no remainder. Check. And there's nothing left for me to bring down. So now I am finished, right? No, I have to check. So I'm going to check. 325, multiply my quotient by my divisor, by 3. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9. And that it works, so I'm checked. So these are the 5 ways we have learned to do this. So I hope you use one of these, you find which way works best for you, and you solve the problems using those different methods. All right, here's our online.